Students, this is video 1 for process costing. We are going to take a look at this example that gives us information about a bakery that produces a homogeneous product. Assume it produces loaves of bread and rolls, just two products. We compared that to job order costing, where there's many unique jobs that run through those types of manufacturing plants. This particular example has 3 WIP accounts: processing, baking, and fulfillment. You'll notice that we are going to be working on the processing department. Remember, we now have 3 WIP accounts that go in an order of manufacturing function. When we focus on this first department, we have 200,000 units that have come into April as beginning WIP. And you'll remember this is a useless information alert because we don't need the data for the beginning WIP of direct materials of 100,000 and 40,000 for conversion. You'll see that we added 700,000 units into production. So we have 900,000 units in play in April. Now, here during April we completed and transferred out 600,000 units, and we're going to look at this. Direct materials is 100% complete, and conversion is 100% complete for these transferred units to baking. Why are they 100% complete? Because we wouldn't transfer them to the next WIP department if they weren't finished in our own WIP department. So they've finished in processing and they've moved and transferred to baking. We certainly care very much about the completion percentages for our ending WIP. We have 300 units in ending WIP, 300,000 units in ending WIP. You'll notice that we have accounted for the 900,000 units we have in play at the end of the month. 600 were transferred, 300,000 are still in ending WIP. This represents the costs at the beginning of the month, and this is the costs that were incurred during the month. Remember, conversion costs, the definition of conversion costs is direct labor and manufacturing overhead. So while conversion costs isn't specifically pointed out like it is in the beginning WIP, we know that these 2 data points, direct labor and manufacturing overhead, make up our conversion costs that were introduced in April. What are we going to do? We're going to prepare a production cost report, and then we are going to transfer the dollar values related to the units that were transferred in April. You'll remember that we transferred out 600,000 units. Well, the question is, what's the dollar value of those 600,000 units that are transferring? And that's what we're going to solve by using the template that I've provided. We're going to cover the first 2 steps on this video, and then the second video will finish the problem in step 3 and 4. Step 1. We are going to account for the units. We started with 200,000 units and we added 700,000 units. So I can put in 200,000 units and 700,000 units for a total of 900,000 units. Now, we come to step 2 and we need to find the equivalent units for materials and conversion costs. Now, how many units were transferred out? We had 600,000 units that were transferred out. So 600,000 units were transferred out. And if you'll remember, I made a note. These are 100% complete pertaining to direct materials and conversion. So I can take this times 100%, and I can take this times 100% for illustrative purposes. Now, work in process, we ended the month with 300,000 units still in work in process. So we type in 300,000. Now the question becomes, what percentage complete are they as to materials and conversion costs? Well, they're 90% complete as it is to direct materials, and 50% complete for conversion. Now, I'm going to take 300,000 times 0.90, the 90%, and then here I'm going to take the 300,000 times 0.50 because they're 50% complete as to conversion costs. So you'll notice that I have accounted for all of my 900,000 units. You'll see 900,000 units here and 900,000 units here. And now if I sum up these numbers, you can see my equivalent units for materials and conversion for the month of April. This will conclude our first video, and I will work steps 3 and 4 on video number 2.